Hey, it's your boy coming at you with another video. Okay, I'm not doing that. That's fake. But that's maybe relevant. Maybe that's kind of the point of this. All right. So today I want to talk about being a YouTuber, what it's like, but more specifically, film criticism and what I like to call hypocrisy of being a film critic and not a filmmaker. So something that happens to me that I've been thinking about lately whenever I do a movie review pretty much is that I start to doubt myself when I start to think, why would anybody care about this? Why would anybody care about what I have to say? You know, who am I? Like, I'm not a filmmaker. I don't make movies. I'm not an expert in any way whatsoever about any of the things that I talk about on my channel. Far from it. I'm just a guy. And with that comes what is called impostor syndrome, where you feel like you should not be, doing what you're doing. You feel like you haven't earned your place. And typically this idea of imposter syndrome is usually linked to success. But I'm here to tell you, I think that it doesn't always have to be co-aligned with success. It can just be literally doing the thing you're doing, making the thing you make, that starts to bring this problem up. Even without a large audience, even without a massive amount of success, imposter syndrome can make you start to question the validity of your own opinions. Like, again, why should it matter what I think about something? Why should you, as a viewer, give a shit about me? Give a shit about my review of this movie that has just come out? Or lately, since there aren't movies in cinemas, why should you care about a movie that came out 20 years ago? And I get that as a viewer and as a creator. I'm like, I start to think about, why would they care? And I feel like pretty much everybody creating content can relate to that, but I feel like maybe this idea is amplified when it comes to being a critic of some sort, because you are literally reviewing other people's work. And that's not to say that what we do is not creative. We as, reviewers, as critics or whatever, I think what I do is very creative. I think that I bring a sense of my own personality into each video that I make. And I definitely think that what I do is creative. But, you can't deny the fact that I am still talking about what other people make. And that's where you start to feel like a bit of an imposter, because I'm not making the thing. I'm just talking about the thing. And, it can bring somebody down, somebody who's trying to do something creative, somebody who is making content. It can definitely make you question whether you should continue that kind of thing. And no way am I saying that I'm thinking about stopping or anything. I'm not. But it does make me question, why I do what I do. And obviously, I guess it's for the love of the craft. I'm not in this for money. I'm not making money at all. I'm not really in it I'm kind of in it for the attention, even though I don't get heaps. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that me on camera doing this shit, making things that look presentable and shit, is not for other people as much as it is for myself, because it is for myself, but it's also for other people. I obviously want to grow the channel and gain more subscribers. I don't feel like that's hypocritical, but I do get the sense of feeling hypocritical when I'm doing movie reviews and talking about film criticism, when I have not. This is my experience when it comes to filming things. Me standing in a room doing this. I'm filming on my phone right now. I don't have a fully professional camera. I'm not an expert. This is my experience. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm not, and I've thought about making short films from time to time, blah, 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 and maybe I will at some point. But anyway, when you're questioning, why you are doing what you're doing, and you're questioning why your opinion should matter, for me anyway, it starts to make me question, what should I be doing next? What video should I make next? And it starts to make you question if something is worth doing or not. When you kind of start to get these feelings and stuff, you kind of, for me anyway, I start to think that maybe I shouldn't do just, basic vanilla movie reviews. This is where the more video essay type things come in. This is why I strive to do things that are kind of more thought-provoking, or if lacking that, and if it is a basic movie review, I try to try is the key word. I try to perfect the edit, or I try to, bring something creative, bring something of value to my content that I believe that I do for pretty much, I hope, every video. I try to supplement what I feel like the video is lacking in doing whatever I can to best perfect respect to that content, whether that's in the edit, whether that's this, that, blah, blah, blah. You know, I try to keep the quality up. And as anyone knows who does this, who's in the YouTube game and all that kind of stuff, you know that it's always a question between quality and quantity, because YouTube, the algorithm and all that stuff, like, it sort of supports the idea of uploading very regularly. Like, if you could upload something daily, that would be preferable. They like that kind of stuff. They like long form stuff, and they like it daily, which is impossible basically for a one-man army. And then of course that brings into the question, well, is twice a week enough? Is once a week enough? Because if you do too much, you're going to start getting burnt out if you're trying to make stuff with a certain sense of quality, that is, anyway. Because, like, I edit my videos precisely. I try to anyway. I know I make mistakes. I know I'm not perfect, but I do pay attention to pretty much every level of a video that I make. I'm not just chucking out shit, is my point. Anyway, and I feel like that lack of perfection, maybe the idea of me not being perfect, is actually kind of the point. And maybe that's what, you know, we should be hoping for when it comes to YouTube. You know, that's what YouTube is supposed to be about, after all. It's supposed to be about normal, everyday people. And I, as a YouTuber, am supposed to represent that. I'm supposed to represent the everyman. And so when it comes to film criticism, when it comes to my opinion on them, I think that it does matter, because I am not, you know, I'm not representing that pompous critic who, like, is into new French wave cinema or some fucking hipster bullshit like that. Like, I don't know about that. That's not really my thing. My thing is just being a normal guy and giving my opinion on those things, and maybe giving a grounded level idea, a grounded approach into what you might think. Like, I don't try to be too overly pretentious when it comes to my videos. I don't try to be too over the top in being intellectual and stuff. I'm very real to myself, and authenticity is what I think YouTube is supposed to be about, and what we should all strive for. That's definitely what I go for. I don't try and be too much of that kind of intellectual smartass or whatever, who thinks he's up on his high horse and who thinks he's super smart or whatever. You know, I'm on the ground level. I'm on that same level as the viewer. I'm not special, but I think that's kind of what makes the content special. And in saying that, like, the kind of channels and reviewers that I like on the site are usually not the biggest on YouTube either. I mean, obviously I like the biggest people when it comes to the niche as well, like Chris Stuckman and Mr. Sunday Movies are two of my very favorite YouTubers on the site. But with that being said, even them compared to much bigger channels, I guess relatively small, you know, if you put it on the scale against PewDiePie or whatever. Chris Stuckman is still quite small with like 1 million and a bit. I think it's just below 2 million subscribers, whereas PewDiePie's got like 100 million subscribers or some shit like that. Like, it's insane. And when you're looking at that scale, it becomes this quite bizarre reference point, I suppose, like when I'm comparing the YouTubers that I like. Like, I think about YouTubers who are on like a similar level to Chris Stuckman, like the Flick Pick, for example, and then I look at his channel and he's got not even a quarter as many subscribers as Chris Stuckman has, which is actually quite astonishing to me, because I always think of them as about on the same level, since they're like friends and whatever, they do the same thing. It makes sense because the Flick Pick's upload schedule is kind of infrequent compared to Chris Stuckman, at least, but still, like, I always thought of him as being a big YouTuber, and he is. I mean, 200,000 or so subscribers is not nothing. It's definitely something. It's definitely what, it's much bigger than what I'm at, but still, it's a funny schedule when you actually look at the numbers, which is not something that I usually pay attention to. Like, I don't really care about the numbers. I don't care about how many subscribers somebody I like has, because I just want to watch the actual content. And I wonder if people who watch me also feel that way. Let me know. But then I look at other YouTubers like Ryan Hollinger, who is a video essayist who specializes in horror. This guy has 500,000 subs, and it's ridiculous. The guy is an absolute genius. He deserves so much more. But then there's a level below the big names who, like, within the niche, within the film community on YouTube, are still big names, like High Top Films, Patrick Willems, Carsten Runquest, Captain Midnight. Who else do I have written here? Ryan George. Absolutely love Ryan George. You've probably seen his face, but you might not know his name. He's the guy who does the pitch meeting videos on Screen Rant. They are hilarious. He's got his own channel though, and he is so creative. Definitely check that guy out if you don't know him. The Pop Culture Detective, who only posts once, maybe every couple months or so, because his videos are so heavily researched. His videos are amazing. Definitely check that guy out. This other one called Good Bad Flicks. These are all channels with about 200,000 subscribers. And like, just looking at it now for the purposes of this video, like, I didn't really think about who actually was bigger than the other, because that's not important to me. And it's kind of weird when you actually are looking at the numbers. But the point is, all of the people that I've named have kind of brought their own niche into the film niche, if that makes sense. They all focus on different kinds of movies or different kinds of video approaches, or they just bring something different to the table in certain ways. And in that way, like, they all kind of represent their own truth when it comes to being an everyman. And this is why we should support small channels more. Like, it's funny saying that because, you know, that's definitely within my own best interest, but still, it feels natural to say, right? Like, I've got plenty of people who are about on my level or who are a bit bigger who definitely deserve the attention. Like, The Greek Geek is a great channel with about 1,000 subs last I checked. I really like that guy. The Whirlwind Potato, who makes very short video essays and kind of movie reviews and stuff. He's usually dissecting a film's point and meaning, or he's discussing something that happened in the history behind a movie, like behind the scenes and stuff. And those are really interesting. They're very well made and well researched. Zach Pope, who is quite a bit bigger than me with about 12,000 subs last I checked, but he works harder than pretty much anybody I've seen on the site. Like, I think he uploads every second day or maybe daily or something. I don't know. He uploads quite a lot, and it blows my mind how he's able to even do that, to be honest. It's quite astonishing what he's able to accomplish. Anyway, the point is, all the guys that I just named are kind of still in the essence of what YouTube's old slogan was in broadcast yourself. You know, film critics on YouTube aren't your fucking Logan Pauls or Dober brothers or whatever. You know, we don't have that 100 million subs or however many they have. I don't fucking know how many they have. I don't care. I don't watch them. I have nothing to do with that. The point is, like, we are kind of still those smaller people. We still represent the everyman. I feel like film critics on YouTube are still very much grounded, are still very much like going for something authentic. A lot of us are just genuine guys, you know, trying to get attention while we talk about the things that we love. A couple more small channels that, you know, you should check out that I like, who are about on my level or still, again, a little bit bigger. Cinephile with a Microphone, Daska discusses pop culture with Pat, Justin watches movies, Film Speak, and Elliot Cohen is the last one that I've written here. But there's an infinite amount of other people that I am technically competing with. Those are just some small channels to definitely check out. And that's all. Yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and goodbye.